to 100 naira per 20,000 naira withdrawal. Says no more zero charge for withdrawal from other banks' ATMs. Further support increase, cite rising cost of cash on ATMs. Beacon advises bank customers to adjust to increase. You can see that story on page 19 of Vanguard newspaper. And here there's a picture with the writer that says federal government at another university in Kaduna. On page 5, PDP crisis. NWC voids Abia's chapter suspension of Wabara. Wabara suspension and insults can't stand. That's according to Bode George. Why we suspended Wabara? That's according to Abia PDP. Now on page 24, NIN now prerequisite for accessing social services. That's according to SGF. Presidency not will take its turn after Tinubu's 8 year, says Ganduje, APC National Chair. Stories above on page 8. I won't go on exile despite plans to arrest me. That's according to a refiner. Lastly, on Vanguard newspaper, corruption index. Nigeria ranks 140 out of 180 countries. That's according to Transparency International. Away from there, we'll move to The Guardian. The Guardian's leading story this morning says ATM withdrawal fee. CBN bets on breaking POS monopoly, improving banks' cash operations. You can see that on page 6. And on page 29, Valentine's Day, NACA urges Nigerians to shun risky behavior. Federal government mandates use of NIN for social services and interventions. 300 die in tanker fire in 4 months, says federal government. New tariff regime begins as telcos implement 50% hike on calls and data. 2027, El-Rufai warns of APC implosion as Ganduje, Boala, others differ. Lastly, on the Guardian newspaper, we have 67% of Nigerian primary, secondary students aids exams malpractices. That can be seen on newspaper 30 of the Guardian newspaper. Now the Punch. The Punch leading story says telcos tariff hike, reps demand reversal as new pricing begins. Lawmakers demand improvement in telecom services. MTN, others raise data tariff. That can be seen on page 31. INEC strategizes to tackle vote buying during Anambra governorship poll. Tension as police occupy Osun local government secretariat over chairman's tenure. Makinde APC trade wars over UCH power crisis. Senate grills IG over 178,459 missing guns and alleged contract splitting. You can see that on page 44. Lastly, on the Punch newspaper, PDP crisis, Wike allies Saka BOT chair, Ashon Ikimipane. That can be seen on page 2. And lastly, the Nation newspaper, it's a leading story this morning, says 2027, Ganduje fires back at El-Rufai for attacking Tinubu. APC chairman urges not to wait till 2031. 32.8 billion naira given as loans to 169,000 students. Information Minister Idris lists Tinubu's achievements. Ministers to present a scorecard. Lagos ends a working from home arrangement for civil servants. You see that on page 5. And above the banner, we have payment of new fee on ATM card use begins March 1. MTN tariff up by 50%. Emirates Air Peace signed pact to link 13 Nigerian cities. Dangote refinery slashes diesel ex depot price to 1,020 naira per litre. Lastly, on the Nation newspaper, we have federal government secures 100% stake in Keystone Bank. That can be seen on page 2. And that's all we have on the front pages. Join us after the break for a brief analysis of some of the stories. Welcome back. If you're just joining me, this is Today the News from Vanguard Live. My name is Damlola Ogunshakin. Joining me to analyze some of the stories on the front pages is Mr. Gbero Olajigbe. He's the Executive Director of Emergency and Risk Alert. Good morning, Mr. Gbero.
Good morning.
All right.
It's a pleasure being with you.
Thank you. All right, let's move straight to some of the stories on the front pages. And yesterday, it was all trending on social media, and the social media space was busy. Now, one of the stories that led was the story of the CBN. CBN has eliminated the three free monthly withdrawals previously allowed for customers using other banks' ATM. And what do you think about these increments?
Well, these are Buccaneer in power. They don't mean well for anybody. And we just look at it that how can you begin to tax Nigeria at every speck of it? That is the problem of the government. And yet, there is nothing moving forward in terms of the economy. I think it's deliberate. Look at the fuel now. The fuel has been jacked up again. Within 1 month. This is the third time they reduce it. They deceive people as if it's coming down. But today, it's up again. So I really don't know what to make up of this government. I don't know. Communication, the telecom, they have affected their own. They have started that one. And most of this money, they go back to the government. Not if they call you, they charge you. If you call them, they charge you. If you put money in bank, they charge you. If you withdraw money from bank, charge. Go to your saving banks. No interest paid. But go to bank and say you want to borrow. We don't have banking sector. When people are saying banking sector, there's nothing like that. This mean businessmen put in place to just rip off Nigeria for doing no professional work. They are not creating wealth. Most of the money that have been given out, they have been mismanaged by the boss of most of these banks, which central bank itself has responsibility to oversight. So I really don't know the type of economy we are running. They continue to keep grave undertaking upon people to the extent that it's difficult to make out living. It's not ameliorating anything. Prices are still skyrocketing, despite this deceptive notion that Naira is gaining value. Naira is just like like all other banks against America. Because of the consequences of Trump tariff, the dollar has been diminished. The value of money of dollar globally came down, not comparatively with Nigeria. It's all currencies are getting stronger because of backlash of Trump policy, and not because they have done anything special within the economy of Nigeria. So it's temporary. When you have a country grabbing from everywhere, grabbing from telecom, from banks, from every sectors, trying to make money from fuel, whether fuel barrel of oil goes up or not, the price keep going up just to make money for themselves and for, of course, not Nigerians. I have never seen the impact of any of the revenue on Nigeria. Because Nigerians are still hungry. Nigerians are still homeless in most cases. No social housing. So what's the purpose or an essence of government?
But according to CBN, they said the reason for the increase is because of the inflation in the country.
Who caused it? Is it not the mismanagement of the economy that caused it? Why should Nigerians become to bear the burden of their inefficiency? The burden of their incompetence? Who caused inflation? Who came to Nigeria after being sworn in and said that fuel subsidy is gone? What was he expecting? Who floated the Naira? What was he expecting? Without production. Who caused the inflation? The inflation was caused by the government and not by the people. And they should stop punishing people. All these things they are practicing are affront on the Constitution of Nigeria that provided opportunity and law guiding the commitment to welfare of the people and prioritizing their security. It's an affront. You are just making people poorer and poorer. And some people, those who are rich are getting richer and richer. For doing nothing, I'm not talking, because they are not in any production sector, for just being in government, for being pest to the nation.
All right, still talking about all those things. Yesterday, MTN increased their tariff, and the House of Rep it asked the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun, and the Nigerian Communications Commission to suspend the impending tariff hike in telecommunication tariffs until their services improves. Now, some customers are now switching to alternative network because of this increase.
Look, people are just blaming the companies. It's the government that is taking this thing. For every call you make, there is tax going to the government. Part of the value-added tax is derived from this communication industry. For every call you make, government has its own share. What is Bosun saying? That until communication improve. Why are they taxing Nigeria and not waiting until governance improve? Why are they bringing out taxes if they want to communication to? Are they not the negative disruptor of this economy that trigger the chain reaction of those in the service industry and a few people in the production industry? Look at what Manufacturer Association of Nigeria said yesterday. All of them are closing shop. Nobody is breaking even, not even Nestle, that have operated for this year. We made 76 years in Nigeria, and Nestle recorded its most tragic death under this administration. So what are they saying? None in this government has mouth to say anything because they are doing worse. The foundation for this shenanigan that is being practiced at all levels, whether in the oil sector, in the telecom sector, is laid by this government because of obnoxious policy that is hostile to production, hostile to service delivery, even hostile to governance itself. So it is the hostility that has ended putting people on arm's length by diminishing the money they have in their banks, in their account. If you are having, when Tinubu came, if you are having 100,000 naira in the bank, and that 100,000 is still physically there, today it's not worth up to 20,000 naira. Those that are not poor before, you have dragged 15 million persons into poverty within 1 year. So how do you now shift the blame on those who are responding to your obnoxious policies, impact?
So, Mr. Gbero, to reduce the impact on the people, what can be done?
Nigeria is a oil producing country. Aramco is in Saudi Arabia. They ensure that the price of fuel, I'm talking comparatively now, is what their people can pay. Didn't you hear what Trump said about oil sector and air energy in America? That it has to come down so as to enable environment that can create jobs and make so that there will be no energy insecurity in America. Those are the people that care for the welfare of their people. So those are the things you should do. Nigerian oil should be the cheapest when it comes to internal or domestic market. You must dedicate. I've said it, there is no alternative way of helping or supporting Nigeria or even enhancing their welfare today than to ensure that a percentage of the oil we produce today is dedicated to Nigerian domestic market. And to the extent that the pump price after the production, if it is 300,000 barrel per day or 400,000 per day, if after studying doing survey on our consumption level, and at the pump price, it's not more than 400 naira at most. That is what can crash the hostile cost of living that we are facing. And that we equally look, when you do all these things, how do you encourage investors? In the environment that you cannot provide electricity for an investor, no power, and they depend on diesel, and the price of diesel goes up, and the small scale industries and people depend on petrol, and the price of petrol is not acceptable. Even the little of them who are self-employed are retrenched because of the cost of production. Even barbers open shop, they use petrol, and they want to move from 500 naira to 2,000 naira in a community that they can't even, they don't even have, their per capita income is not up to 30,000, 40,000 naira per month, per capita income within that community.
But
so without doing what they will just be collecting what they call revenue, gaining revenue.
But Mr. Guerrero, according to global petrol prices, it says that Nigeria is still part of the country that is enjoying the cheapest fuel in the world.
Because they have destroyed naira, that is why they are talking this trash. Because they destroyed the value of naira. If naira is strong, would they be talking like this? The same people destroy the value of naira, intrinsic value of naira. That is why they are still talking. And it's because Nigerians are so, I don't know what to say, it's that they don't, you see, the logical level is so low, the thought level is so low, and they can't identify who caused their problem. That's why they are enjoying this type of illogical explanation that floyd common sense. Well, what was naira? What did they do? Naira, when it came in, the naira was as strong as 400 naira, and the dollar was around 470 naira. Today, dollar is 15, 16 in some instances. When it came in, petrol was 187 naira. Today, it's over 1,000 naira. So what is he saying? I've told you the type of people that hijack this economy. The economy has been hijacked. There's no production going on anywhere. Without production, there will be no impact of anything. All these things you are seeing, that, okay, put money in the bank, rate people through tax, go to communication sector, go to pension and grab money there, go to every form or sector where they think there's money and finish on those money. Will not save economy without production. And there will be no production if the cost of production is high. And the cost of production cannot come down if this energy crisis is not addressed. Look, it's been naira foolish and copper wide. When you think you are making money and there's no production going on in your sector because of cost of production. The consequences is that one, there will be increase in the level of unemployed person. That is, the employment market will be saturated. Two, the cost of living will go up, the standard of living will fall, and there will be social crisis because some people will not be accommodated. You have some people that are not even earning 1,000 naira in a day. So how do they exist in this type of economy? Allegedly, look at what they said is going on in Lut now, UCH. Is that what that type of a country we want to build? In the 60s, in the 70s, UCH was the signature of global heights. People coming here for treatment and everything. When some of us were in school, we have foreign students in Nigeria University. I'm not talking of people from India, people from United Kingdom and in Nigeria University. To the extent that they have their own separate hostel because they pay differently from us. A portion of hostel is dedicated to them. So what has happened to Nigeria today? Even Nigerians they get irritated when you mention of going to school at home. Every sectors have been destroyed, and there is no decisive action for remedy. And this government they know that they are not performing. That's why they are doing try and error is what is running this economy. They are not performing. That is just the case. And I've told them that that performance will not come. Don't be looking at the quantity of naira coming that you are making through tax and everything. Translate it to what is the opportunity cost of making such money. The opportunity cost of making that money is that people are losing their job. The opportunity cost of making that money is that you are creating wishing to work criminals. The opportunity cost of that money is that you have reduced the logic of a national social crisis to a situation where the state creates the crime that people commit because they can no longer cope with the cost of living in the country.
So, Mr. Guerrero, according to Transparency International, Nigeria ranks 140 out of 180 in the corruption index.
Corruption is, I would like to refer to the late Makama Bida, Alhaji Shehu Musa. He said in Nigeria long ago, I hope he's still alive now, he will have captured it better. He said in Nigeria, corruption is not only that officials are corrupt, but that corruption is even official. So it's the life we have chosen for ourselves. Nobody is punishing anybody. Look at recently, the Lagos State Speaker was alleged to have embezzled billions of naira, Obasa, according to his colleague in the house. That was the reason he was removed. And somebody somewhere wanted him to return. Is that one building a country? So corruption is walking on the street of Nigeria, even walking proudly. And nobody is ready to hurt it. Nobody is ready to do anything about it. So if you are not corrupt, people just even think that you are, what type of human being are you? So it's not an exception in Nigeria. Corruption is the rule. Transparency International is it not shameful that we have such a position among the corruption index of the Transparency International? So there's nothing I've changed. I've told you it's not possible for you to combine all this error of corruption, error of policy that is not responding to the economy, and you are still arrogant of reversing yourself. And you are too arrogant and too ignorant of doing what is right, even in spite of suggestion of alternative measure that can be taken to remedy the economy, to remedy the social anarchy that is going on in the country, that have become threats, palpable threats to life and security of people in the country.
Mr. Guerrero, I would like us to just quickly touch on this one before we go. Now, there was chaos at the Faculty of Arts in Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, after a student attacked and beat a lecturer during a heated altercation. And the incident occurred on campus, and it was just because the lecturer that identified as Dr. Chukudi interrupted the student while she was recording a dance video in the faculty corridor. The video trended on social media yesterday. What do you think about this?
It's a nation whose value has been decimated. A student, a biting lecturer, harassing him, molesting him, his own teacher, our own teacher, because he was doing TikTok. And the teacher tapped that maybe according to them, the teacher wanted to pass or doing certain things. Do you even need to be told? It's a reflection of what is going on in our society. Everything is just upside down. Morally, the society is bankrupt. And it's reflecting at home. How dare you, as a student, doing that to your teacher? Must you do TikTok in the school environment and everything? And if you have to do it, and do you have the right of way so that other people are excluded from where you are doing it? What an impudence. It's sad that we have a society whose morals have been washed down by misgovernance, by carelessness of parents too. But parents are bringing children that are not even taught, given no training. In fact, they are part of the iniquity that is working across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Most parents, not all parents, do. So we have built a society of immorality. We have built a society of indiscipline. We have built a society of people who have no regard for value, not even elders, not even everywhere in the world. As we condemn white for everything. It's not, Yoruba used to say one thing that manner is not when you prostrate. If you go to at the level of policy today, you need to stand up for aged. The provision are made for aged, even inside buses, and those that are physically challenged in one way or the other. But do we have that people there? So that is about a violation of dignity, of human dignity, which was provided for in the chapter 4 of Nigeria Constitution. Everybody dignity must be respected. And to worsen it, the person that is insulting another person's dignity today is a student, not even the teacher doing that. Such students should be expelled. That is my verdict on that case. It's annoying, provided there is nothing attached, and there is nothing attached from what I have read and what I have heard, and even from the old students that have passed through the teacher's hands, their testimony and everything. So that student has no home training and it has no school training.
All right, let's talk about Mr. and Mrs. before we go this morning. And the first person talking is Mrs. Mrs. says, according to your uncle, any woman married into your family is entitled to a plot of land anywhere she chooses. He said it's in your family's history. And Mr. replied, that's what he cajoled his 5 wives with. It's not in our family history, it's his story.
so they are victims of greed. So if he has 5 wives already and another one is asking for plot of land, they are victims of greed. But we should just temper our expectation when we go into a relationship, marriage especially. Let us work hard individually and collectively so that we make contribution, even if it is not equal contribution, to growth and development of family, particularly at this time when family value is going down the drain. So let us not be too conscious of material things, property, money, and everything. Look at how we can build this society together. The generation starts from the family level. So if we can build a very progressive, disciplined, and cooperative family, we will have a better nation than we have today. A nation that is scattered and that is destroyed. Most of this antisocial behavior we see a reflection of what is going on in families. So Mr. and Mrs. should set their priority right. Mr. should stop this luring people with lies and deceit. It's criminal offense. And also, the ladies too should be discerning enough to know that don't prioritize material things over your happiness, over your prospect, over your future. So work on your own. You can own your own land if you work hard on your own as a woman. And those are the things that diminish the value of women in our society today, and have retained the status of patriarchal nature, the patriarchal nature of our society. Women can do what men can do. So let us work together and achieve together.
All right, thank you, Mr. Guerrero, for joining me today.
It's a pleasure being with you. Thank you.
Yes, and do want to like and follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You can also visit our website, www.vanguardangel.com, to get more of our top stories. My name is Damlola.